Alrighty, further to all the videos I've been doing about 5.5 and what it's done to lower tiers, I kind of want to do a video on light tanking, but in the context of 5.5. And the point I'm making at the beginning of this video is effectively you can start at tier 3 driving a light tank. So I'm driving the Stuart here, but the style of play for a light tank will be exactly the same regardless of what tier you're playing at. So for example, when I play Blitz, especially first thing in the morning, and I feel like I want to get in the Vk28.01 and play some games, the first thing I do is not to get in the Vk28.01. I get in the Stuart, and the reason for that is that I'm not good in the morning. But the second reason for it is I need to get my mindset in the right place to drive a light tank. And actually, something like a Stuart is the perfect training tank for any light tank that you then drive at higher tiers. The A20 would have been another example back in the day. It's not seal clubbing, it's just an absolute preference I have to start at a lower tier, get my head around what I should be doing, make some mistakes like I am here getting whacked, and then basically get my mindset in the right place before I then go and drive a higher tier and get whacked harder. And you can see it almost, I wake up around here playing this game. So what skills am I employing? Well, none currently, but the first light tank skill I guess you should know, and I'm not advocating YOLO here, is get out and spot for the team. Do not camp a light tank. Push a flank or drive the tank into the middle, find a ridge, spot up the enemy team. If you're not doing that and you're camping spawn or playing back, you're doing the team a disservice. And that's exactly what I've done here. I've pushed all the way around the map, the Tetrox helped me, and basically light tank skill number 1, spotting. Right, so that's that. And the only reason I've actually stopped moving here, skill number 2, do not stop moving, is because I was just getting free shots into the Chiha. So the moment the shots dry up in a light tank, you should be getting busy. You should be relocating, looking at the map and looking at where your team need help, because you've got the mobility to go anywhere you like. So light tank skill number 2, here we go, bewildering people. You could do this in a light tank. If you're not doing this in a light tank, you're doing it wrong. Drive round people, especially big ass hairy tanks like this Chiha here. Drive round the bugger. Look how bloody confused they are. There's 2 of them looking at me now. Yeah, they're shooting me a little bit, but they're totally, I've taken 2 tanks out of the game. I've capped a rake load into the Chiha. Look at that, I got shot in the arse by the Ice Claw as well. But I've done my team a service there. I've tied up 3 enemy tanks just by driving around in circles. And you notice you tend to have less good pen in a light tank. So do what I did with the Chiha there. Get in behind him, shoot him in the butt. And here we go. I see my teammate needs help over here. No problem, buddy. I can do that. And I'm just going to kill him. No worries. And I'm still moving. So the second half of the game, I have not stopped moving. I'm going to go for the next lowest hit point tank over here. Still moving, just stop. Putting in, no worries. And then I'm going to get in behind the Ice Claw. And this is kind of skill number 4. If you're dealing with TDs or big heavy tanks in a light tank, you need to be behind them. Like every day of the week, use your mobility, get behind it. Shoot the bugger in the arse. That's what you do. That's what you got to do. I can square this guy off and just sit behind him, shoot him in the butt. And I don't even care if it drives into me. Look, watch. Squared off. Team can just pump him for damage. There's nothing he can do to this guy. There you go. Done. So there you go. So lower tier light tanking 101. But you see the skills improve. Now, until you can be doing that consistently at tiers 2, 3, 4, then you shouldn't be in tier 6 in a Vk28.01. Here we go. I just put this one in for the Stuart just because I loathe and detest campers. I've got to be honest. I'm just going to give you another example of the sort of batshit crazy stuff you can do in light tanks. You can pop up, 1, 2, 3, and still traversing. You can pop down, and this is just rude, but you know I really don't like campers. I've got to say, there you go, bang. So you can do all of that at tier 3. You can teach yourself to do that at tier 3, and then you can get in something like a Walker Bulldog. And again, same concepts apply. This I've pulled out wide here, just a quick clip. I've spotted up the enemy SU. He's going to get absolutely bloody flogged. By the way, I love the power slide in this tank. You can come round. Another one for you, son. Ta-da. And then you can push round the entire map in a heartbeat. I mean, you don't want to get shot, that's why I'm behind the rock. You see the light bulb go off. You can push around the entire map in a heartbeat, and you can go, right, where can I help the team? What can I do? Okay, they're kind of still on spawn. God bless them. I'm going to drive all the way around the map. No worries, I've spotted the SU already. I'm going to drive along here, and I'm going to have a good look down into this dip. And lo and behold, what have I got? Oh, okay. Nice go. Bang. It doesn't matter, I've got no flaming armour or anything. I'm just playing the tanks to its strength. You know, I've flanked round the map. I've been a sneaky little bastard, if you like, but there you go. And that's what you can do. So eventually I got in the Vk28.01. I played 2 in the Stuart, and then I got in the Vk28.01. And first game in, I'm bottom tiered. I'm in a light tank. But I'm going to start kind of deploying some of the skills that I've been practicing in the Stuart. So I'm going to push out with the team. You can see they're going to go right. I'm going to go with them. I'm going to do my best to support them. I'm lower tier, so I'm going to be a support tank in this game. Or so you would think. And by the way, this game is absolutely clutch. It's ridiculous how tight this game is. I'm going to pop up and spot. We've got dragons, we've got all sorts of nasty stuff that is going to burn through me if I'm not intelligent about what I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push in behind the Rudy, and I'm going to put some support into the side of the dragon. Oh, hello Blaze. Yeah, you're just nicely parked in my ass there and you can't shoot. Cheers buddy. Yep, good job. GG. So there you go. I put 2 into the dragon, and I'm going to push up here and see what shots I can get. And you can see the whole enemy team is pushed down, and get one into this SU. Thank you very much. And you can see I'm just working carefully around the map. There you go. Another one to the SU. Bounce off his gunman lip. And I'm looking at that go, do you think you're going through that gap, buddy? You think you're going through there? But beyond all that, I really don't want to bait the SU too much because he can pretty much one-shot me. So I'm just going to reverse up round here, have a look, see what the back of the enemy team's doing. Oh, hello VK, nice one-shot. And then I'll get front-ended by the victory. That's kind of nice of him. I guess he's in a hurry because he wants to do pretty much what I'm doing. I suppose I can't blame him for that. He is currently right in my bloody way. I catch his back track, which is bad manners, so I ease off it. I can't see why he doesn't clear the stubborn ammo. He's a one-shot. You've got to get the one-shots out of the game, bud. And then I'm kind of wanting the back of the SU. I can't get it. I want to dance around the HTC, but I take one. But look, I'm just heading for his butt the whole time. I want to be behind this tank. I have got no pen on the front. I've got to be behind him every single day of the week. Try another one, and then I noticed the KV1S, so I need to start pumping him for damage. Now if you look at the game, it's 3-all, but they're way up on cap points, so the reason I'm stopping play here is to make sure that I cap C, because someone's got to do it, and that's what I'm going to do. And then I can start to move up into the HTC. I would really like to clear this guy, because he's a pain in the butt. As you can see, I should have shot him in the boob there. But anyway, RIS clears him. Come round and I'm going to start pumping the KV1S. You'll notice by this point I am in somewhat distress with hit points, and you can kind of see I've driven the tank hard, but I've been extremely mobile in it. I've angled up there hoping to get a bounce, no such luck. I think the guy leaves me on 12 hit points, so I'm now into the KV1S again, all the time in the butt. I can't even afford to graze him there because he's going to rank on me. Now, I admit freely that is lucky I get a fire on him there, but I kind of made my own luck. I'm now going to sit and think. I mean, I'm a one-shot. I'm worried about the IS because, well, he's done okay, but I don't actually think he's that competent. The victory is watching the game, and he's made the right call, and I was already kind of thinking, yeah, better move my butt. So I'm going to move up and cap B. And it's the right thing to do. And by the way, if you sometimes sit and watch a game, even though you're dead, if you make helpful suggestions like that, sometimes it really does help, because the other guys, by the way, what I did there, but the guy who's playing is in the heat at the moment. It's quite nice sometimes if someone helps. I get an idiot off the Rudy, which is really nice of him, isn't it? So I'm going to cap up B. I'm then going to do what I wanted to do, which is go help the IS, but he's already done the business. God bless his heart. So there you go. So all the skills you kind of see in the Stuart, you can just take and apply them to Vk28.01. Or, for example, you can take them and you can apply them to a big dog. You know, big dog, all things being relative. But, you know, something like an AMX CDC, a tank which is, you know, tier 8, that's bugger all armour, and is going to meet all sorts of nasty, heavy tanks. And you see, my point is that if you haven't learned to play something like a Stuart at tier 3 and you haven't graduated to a Vk28.01 at tier 6 and then moved to something like a Bulldog at tier 7, if you get to tier 8 and you don't know how to COD, you're not spotting for the team, you know, like I'm doing here, you don't know how to get behind things, and you think that playing a light tank is about YOLOing down the middle of a battlefield, waiting for a big nasty TD or heavy to shoot you from 3 angles, then you're not going to do very well. So effectively, what I'm saying is to drive your lower tier light tanks. Even if you're learning the game, I mean, certainly do it. Certainly, no doubt. Get in your M3 Stuart and drive it 100 times, you know, minimum, before you go up a tier 2, tier 4, and drive the next light tank 100 times minimum, and so on. If you're an experienced player, the point I'd like to make here is that we all hop between tanks, you know, a lot. You drive a heavy, you drive a light, you drive a med, you drive a TD. That's the beautiful thing about this game. You can swap, you can drive different types of tank. But actually, it really doesn't do you any harm at all to drop down into something like a Stuart or a T46 or an A20 or anything that, you know, that's highly mobile once in a while, and just refresh your skills. You know, refresh your skills at a lower tier. The amount of times I've got in a Vk28.01, and I've learned from this, first thing in the morning, what's the first thing I'm going to drive? I'm going to drive Vk28.01 at tier 6. You know, just get wrecked, and because I'm not thinking about playing light tanks. I'm not thinking about the skills. I'm really highly surprised when I get one-shotted because I've not been paying attention. So, you know, far from Wargaming stripping out the lower tiers, the point I've made, recurring theme across my videos, is that they are so valuable to people who are learning the game and learning different types of tanks. And to all of us guys who think we're, I don't know, quite good or good at higher tiers, I don't think it does any of us any harm whatsoever to drop some tiers and just like practice and have actual fun, you know, with lower stakes, driving something like Stuart and reminding ourselves why the game is fun. I had as much joy playing that game in the Stuart as I'm now encountering playing the CDC, and I'm doing exactly the same things. If you look across all the videos, I'm driving around stuff, I'm being a pest, I'm distracting heavy tanks, I'm spotting, I'm shooting people in the butt, I'm doing all these different kind of skills in light tanks, and it doesn't matter at all what tier you're playing or how big your gun is and how much damage you can give out and all the rest of it. The gameplay is exactly the same. So, you know, back to theme, please give us back the lower tiers properly, and please fix the XP and credits so people need to play more games there and practice their skills. Thanks, Wargaming. See you fellas. Bye.